We got a big one week 1, baby. You got Notre Dame going to Hard Rock, a place they would like to end the season, playing Miami. Notre Dame, a 2.5-point favorite. So Miami, 2.5-point dog at the crib. We're going to give you a quick preview on this one. We'll give you our lean at the end of this thing. Not a prediction. All right, prediction coming a little bit later in the college football calendar. When it gets closer to the game, we'll give you our pick. But, man, I cannot wait for this one. Notre Dame fans, Miami fans, make sure you are subscribed if you want to get our official pick on this game. But we're going to give you a quick breakdown right now. And how quick is Carson Beck is really my first question on this thing. Because he's missing all of spring practice. Now, I care more about him missing spring practice than the average quarterback because Carson Beck is going to be in a completely new system under Shannon Dawson, transferring over from Georgia. I don't question the talent. I don't think anybody actually questions the arm talent of a Carson Beck. The question is, how dialed in are you to what this offense is supposed to look like? Because Cam Ward last year during spring practice, we're hearing about him changing the play at line of scrimmage, being in total command and calling the offense himself. Carson Beck, he could have the offense down to that level, from a philosophical perspective. But until you actually do it in a football game, until you actually do it in 11-on-11, it's a lot harder for that thing to be real, if you will. So Carson Beck in this offense, too, it should be noted, has a lot less proven production around him on offense. You're playing with new guys like Akeelan Marion from BYU, Malachi Toney, true freshman, who they're really excited about, but he's going to be a true freshman. Josiah Trader, going to ask a lot of him. There's a lot there for Miami that I think still has to formulate, and so much of what Miami is offensively is quarterback-driven. Great offensive line, great running back room, but if Miami's going to win this football game, it's going to be because Carson Beck was able to make plays downfield against a good Notre Dame defense to allow them to ultimately score enough to win this football game. I don't think Miami wins a rock fight. Like, if Miami score in less than 20, I don't think the Canes won that football game. But if you're going to go ahead and score, north of 30, okay, now we're talking, because that puts the pressure on a one CJ Carr. That's kind of my next question I want to have for this football game to get answered. How much do you ask of CJ Carr if you're Notre Dame? Very different offensive approach from what you had last year. Because we were at the national championship game, and you'd get to third and call it 4. You're third and Riley Leonard, right? I mean, that was in the national title game. That was all year long. They were very comfortable running a system to where just get us in striking distance on third down, where you can run the football. Got to throw it off some, different looks. We can make that happen for you. But for the most part, it was stay ahead of the sticks, quarterback run game. Now we go. It's going to be very different this year. I'm assuming it's CJ Carr that's going to start for you. If it's not, we'll talk about that. But I'm assuming it's a lot more pocket passer kind of driven. I think it's going to be a lot of CJ Carr down the field to Jaden Greathouse, to Fields. There's a lot of weapons for Notre Dame with a quarterback now that specializes more in throwing the football downfield than what you had last year. How does that all formulate? And what I just said, how much do you ask of CJ Carr in this spot? A lot of that depends on what Notre Dame does defensively. But if Miami is clicking on all cylinders and we're like, hey, Cam Ward who, Cam Ward what, Carson Beck is dealing right now, and you ask CJ Carr to go score for score with arguably the most talented quarterback Notre Dame's going to have to play this year in his first start ever, I don't love that for Notre Dame. Now, if it's what I just said, Miami's kind of sputtering offensively, can't totally get it figured out. Carson Beck looks good but kind of sped up out there, doesn't totally know what he's looking at. At that point in time, you say, okay, CJ Carr, make the throws you have to make. We're going to give it to Jeremiah Love. We're going to give it to this backfield and let them cook and let us, eat up front, because Notre Dame's offensive line is going to be one of the best in America. If they can just dictate the terms to Miami during this football game, that's the kind of game that I think would allow CJ Carr to kind of ease into this thing. So Miami, defensively now, it should be noted, that might be the question for the entire season for the Canes. Yes, Carson Beck's got to deliver, of course, but like Miami last year, if you roll out the same kind of product defensively that you had in 2024 and 2025, this game will be ugly. It will. And that Miami fans know that. We know that. I think Notre Dame knows that. It was not at all up to standard of what Mario Cristobal expects defensively. That's why they have a whole new staff over there. That's why they hit the portal the way that they did. But if Miami isn't truly better on defense, the rest of what I just said about Carson Beck and how good he is, and CJ, it doesn't matter. It's going to be, absolute smash-mouth football from Notre Dame all day long, and that's going to be the way that Miami has to deal with it. Okay, so if Miami can't be improved defensively, it's going to be a very, very long football game for the folks out there in Coral Gables. Now, here's what I'm curious about. From a temperature perspective for both sides, where are they at? Because last year, we saw this Marcus Freeman coached football team for Notre Dame just continue to find a way. It didn't make sense in the box score. It didn't always make sense from a roster comparison point of view, from a talent level. But this Marcus Freeman team just found a way time and time again. It might have been ugly. It might be unconventional, but didn't matter. They were going to find a way to get it done all the way up until the national championship game. Is those same or are those same kind of traits still present for the Fighting Irish? I'm curious, because it's a gritty outfit now. Does it carry over when you lose some of the leadership that you lost last year at quarterback, at defensive coordinator? Is that still there? I think it is, but we're going to find out. Miami, kind of the same thought. There was a different edge, different swagger for Miami last year than we'd seen in the past. Like, they walked out there and they expected to win football games. And a big part of that, I think, is who you had at quarterback in Cam Ward. Big reason why he went number one. You heard the word alpha. You heard the term alpha dog. Like, that was who he was. That, I think, set the temperature for the entire locker room and the culture in 305. Was that a Cam Ward thing? Or is that now a Miami thing under Cristobal? If it's a Miami thing under Cristobal, then we're going to see them give Notre Dame 4 quarters of football. If it's not, then I wonder what the new identity is for Miami, and can the leadership in that locker room pick up where he left off? Major question. So my lean right now is towards Marcus Freeman's team finding a way to get it done on the road. I love Carson Beck. I love what they have at receiver, but I'm curious to see how that translates with him not in this offense in the spring, trying to pick it up, now playing in fall camp. The questions on defense, there's too many question marks for me for Miami right now for me to lean that way. Now, we may very well pick Miami when it comes to week of the game. So, not a prediction, but a lean right now. I would lean ever so slightly towards Notre Dame with that 2.5. But our official prediction will be on this channel, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Miami fans, Notre Dame fans, it's going to be here before you know it. So, make sure you're locked in. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We will keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time.